Have you ever just gone to a ground, not to see a game, just to see the ground from outside?
Oh yeah. That's my wife. We used
Go
to
on,
do that.
tell us something.
We used to do that on holiday. We used to go around the grounds because my son always liked to get a badge, and it had to come from the ground. So he's got a badge board upstairs with them on all around still.
How many?
So if we were going on holiday somewhere, we'd call in zigzag through some grounds to get them.
Yeah.
And obviously when we've done a couple of charity things where we've driven around all the 92 grounds in 92 hours.
Did you?
I've done that twice now.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was good. And we did the Scottish grounds as well. We did all 38 Scottish grounds in 2 days. Started at Berwick and all the way up to
what a journey! That was
all the way up to Elgin, and then finished off at Annan.
That must have been insane. You were talking about bleak ground. Some of there.
Yeah, there was Montrose. Montrose just looked like they put a load of conservatories around the outside of the ground.
But I'm glad grounds like that exist.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
they can't all be the New Camp or whatever.
Both look like something that you see around in the United Counties League, but in the Scottish League, and it's right on that. It must be the coldest ground you'd ever, because it's right on the coast as well. It's right next to the sea, so it must be in this time of year. It must be horrible ground.
Deadly. So I don't know. You might have answered this already. Who's your favourite ever Posh player then?
I think George Boyd. I think he's just. It was one of them players that got you off your seats, and he could score goals, and he could beat players. The one I remember is at Colchester, when we won promotion at Colchester. It made 2 players fall over. He did a little turn and 2.
He's got quite a languid style, hasn't he?
I think his game's changed slightly since he left us, and that he's more of a bit of a workhorse now, but still with that extra edge that they can pull something out of nowhere. Because he wasn't he like that when he was playing for Burnley in the Premier League? He was the person with the most miles run.
Was he?
Yeah, or kilometres.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have thought that back when he was with.
No, but I think over that period he was brilliant, and also with Aaron and Craig as well at the same time, and Cal Smith, who were.
It was a good side.
And it was all
good.
Yeah.
So more fun is who your least favourite players were at Posh. Is there any that you really?
There was 2 or 3 that we signed from Cambridge. Obviously, that's not a good
start.
It's already that like Phil Chappell and Steve Butler.
So we're talking early 90s?
Yeah, early 90s, and they came from Cambridge and they were rubbish. They should have stayed at Cambridge.
So, okay. So and any more recent ones that you've just? You try and like players.
Yeah, I think So we're in the position where when we're with the Mascots, we meet them quite a bit. So we're going to the dressing rooms with the Mascots.
Because there's some that they get hammered. I mean, I can think of a couple of Luke James.
Yeah.
And Nichols from last season.
Yeah. Again, we met that, and they're great lads. Luke James gave us a pair of boots 1 year. We'll say 1 year, we weren't there long, but but he volunteered. He heard about us and said there's a pair of boots. So I find it's really hard to hear and see some of the stuff on Twitter and hear fans saying when you kind of don't know them, but some of them we do get to know, and we keep in touch with like George and Charlie Lee and people like that. But it is then when you're going in to see them. I was telling this story the other night. Somebody actually. I always remember. I won a competition to go with Posh on the team coach to a League Cup game at Plymouth, and I was staying over. Obviously, Plymouth was staying over in a hotel, and I was sat at the back of the bus. I was on the way back, and Steve Collins was there, and he was talking to me about football and everything. He said, "Oh, do you go to all the games here?" He says, "Are you one of the people that boos me?" And that sort of clicked something. Yeah, that sort of stuck with me. That they're people as well as it's like the stuff with Leo. It's horrible, and I'm one of his biggest defenders on Twitter because it just annoys me so much.
He's young, isn't he?
He's 19 years old. I looked over at when he got taken off against Leicester. I looked over at the enclosure because we were seeing the London Road, and there's grown men shouting abuse at him and telling him to get off.
Against a team 2 divisions above, who were Premier League champions a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's been overrunning midfield. The whole team was that day, though, weren't they?
Yeah, but he wasn't, sometime he didn't give the ball away for 2 goals, which Grant and Forrester did, but he seems to get he does seem to be a scapegoat. And I think that happens with a lot of the younger ones that come through the youth team. John Newell was. He got Jermaine Anderson, Leo now. Whereas, Joe Newell's gone on and he's played in the Championship and he's playing well for Rotherham are storming at the moment, aren't they? And he's playing well for them at the moment.
It's sad, isn't it?
They just seem to be a...
Is that a posh thing or is that just football?
I'd hope it's not a football thing. I think a lot of people blame the chairman for the hype of the youngsters, but I always think, they say, they're touting them, but teams have scouts. Teams come along. We see the list of scouts when we go in the boardroom on a Saturday. We see the list of scouts that are there. It's not Darrow telling them scouts to come along, is it? They're coming along. He
does do that, doesn't he, on Twitter? Like, who was it who? What was the defender's name? Was it Christian something? What was his name?
Christian Burgess.
Yeah, I remember. Was it him? I can't remember, but I remember seeing Darrow tweeting out that he's like the best young defender in such a... It's to put them under pressure, but then at the same time you don't want to say, well, we've signed a mediocre player.
Exactly. Yeah.
Where's the...
exactly. And they see them in training. They don't get picked for a game if they're doing badly in training.
No.
Do they?
Tell us about Free Kicks Foundation.
Yeah, Free Kicks Foundation's been going 11 years this year now. We raise money to give deserving children days out at football, and we've taken over 800 children to matches now, and that's basically whether they've gone as Mascot or in hospitality. We also do a season ticket scheme where we buy season tickets for different clubs and then give them to different organisations to distribute among. So we work with young carer groups. At Crystal Palace we've got 4 season tickets that we give to the young carers in Sutton and in Croydon, and they get a different child going along every week. So yeah, it's just children that are nominated to us, or sometimes we seek them out. When we go to away games, we'll contact a local charity or hospice or hospital or the community trust at the club and get them to nominate a child to be a mascot.
Yeah.
So yes, we've done over 800 of them, and then another thousands of other children have gone because we've bought the season tickets.
That must give you as much of a buzz as the football itself a lot.
It does, yeah. It's again going back to the question earlier about getting angry about the football. I think that's kind of calmed me down a bit as well, because even if you got beat, like last year we got beat 5-1 at Bury when they hadn't won for half a season, and you come away from that disappointed, but then you think, he's a mascot.
Yeah,
he's
had a brilliant day for the rest of their life.
Yeah, and seeing the kids' faces and everything is brilliant, and obviously we do it. Myself and Sam do it around our day jobs as well. So it makes all the hard work worthwhile. We raise all the money ourselves. So obviously you've been to the quiz night and cycle rides are the big. They're the big fundraisers.
Yeah.
When we do a cycle ride.
Probably big events.
Yeah. We're doing one this year as well. We didn't have one last year, but we're doing one this year. We're doing the Grand Union Canal from Birmingham to London in May.
And how far is that?
That's 150 miles over 2 days.
Right.
On a train, but there's also what we're doing is two different rides. Because there's people who don't want to ride along the canal. They want to do road rides as well.
Oh, okay.
So they're doing 100 miles a day to get down and looking for hills on their route. So yeah, they're the big fundraisers. We've been to Amsterdam, we've been to Brussels, we've been to Paris. Yeah, the Amsterdam was brilliant. That was the first one that I actually did. because I managed to get the training in to do it. So that was a real sense of achievement getting to Ajax Stadium.
Oh, I'll bet.
Yeah.
I'll put a link in to the video when we've finished this. What else have we got? Oh, that's a good one. What's the crappiest bit of football memorabilia that you own?
I got, remember the old pennants that you used to get in the 70s? I got one of them upstairs from, it's all folded and all the letters are falling off and everything. It's from when Posh played at Man United in the 76 FA Cup. And it's all frayed and everything, but I still got it. I got it upstairs. I didn't go. I wasn't allowed to go to the game. I was like 9 or something. I wouldn't let me go, but my granddad and my uncle and my auntie all went. And they brought me back this little. Yeah, you couldn't go to the game, but it's a little.
Even when there is one, if there's no letters left, you'll keep that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've got a Italian 90. What was he called? The mascot, like the weird block thing, Chow. I've got a football that is basically, it's brown because all the leathers basically come, it's not going anywhere. Because I can remember when I was 11 kicking that round. But you don't get rid of the... Finish with this. Is there anyone who works behind the scenes at Posh who deserves recognition? Somebody that you must have met, sort of people who are...
There's so many, to be honest, there's so many, the people that they're quite a really small team behind for the way clubs are now and the way social media and the scrutiny on clubs. There's a small team. Phil Adlam's brilliant. Phil's been there for years. He knows everything. He does everything. He's been helping us a lot out with the free kicks day stuff, and I think he always seems to be working. He does. He transfer deadline day. I understand he was in bed when all of a sudden he had to come out because the Bogle deal was back on or something.
Well, it was quite late, wasn't it? Yeah. Well, very late actually.
So he had to go back to the club, I think, to go and get it sorted. But I think Phil's brilliant, and he gets a lot of ribbon from the players and everything. But he always takes it in good heart, and
he's good guy.
Brilliant,
approachable.
But everybody in the club is fantastic. I think it's a great team, and a lot of them have been there a lot of years as well. So Chris Brewer and people like that. Joe Dent's a brilliant photographer.
It is, yeah.
So
cool. Right, we'll finish there.
Good.
Thank you, Steve, for all that.
That's
that was quite a long old chat, wasn't it?
It was good, yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
That's no worries at all.